thing is, if we point the wrong thing out, we do get penalised, so we have to be very careful. See, I think it's all about the key phrasing. At the time of the crime, the detective has used his ID card. It's either the time or his ID card that we're supposed to be pointing out. Don't think why he wrote 5-9, think why he had to write a lost item report. Yeah, but that's not relevant for this. Like, we've got to debunk that he was there to begin with. Could the guy with all sevens have put the glove? Possibly, yeah. I mean, we can guess what this lost item was. We probably believe it would be the knife, right? Because that was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car, which is very weird. I still don't quite get where all this is pointing yet. Like, what's the motive behind all this weird stuff, things being left at the scene of the crime and clues being hidden in places. It's very strange. But anyway, so we either contest the time of the crime being when Edgeworth's car returned back to the parking lot, but that's just when his car returned to the parking lot. He was supposed to be killed shortly afterwards. There's the autopsy. That doesn't give us anything. 4 PM to 5:30 was the time of death. So, you know. Yeah, it's definitely the last statement, I know. I'm not confused about what statement I need to contest. I'm just trying to figure out what piece of evidence goes with it. Because it's got to be this then. It must be. Yeah, we have 5 attempts. It's just I'd rather not use one up if I don't have to. I still want to get it right first time. Again, I'm just stuck on the fact that why did he start writing 5-9 instead of 5-8? Because he had a new card, right? Okay, I'm going to present it. Screw it. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say the crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honour, I have one more piece of evidence to present. So we could have presented either of these. Right. I guess presenting the card would have been the better way because we know we found it elsewhere. I just think that was planted after the fact. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID, a lost item report. It's only half complete, but it shows Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out a report. Let me guess, you believe there's something to be his ID card. I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. Yeah, but it's lost. Is it a lost item or evidence? On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. It's a lost item. Yeah, okay. I realise now the difference. I've been thinking that was a piece of evidence that was missing. I thought he was trying to file the fact that a piece of evidence was gone, but he's filing a lost item card. So the reason he tried to write why he wrote his number wrong, I get it now. He wrote his number wrong because he didn't have his card with him with his number on and he couldn't remember it. Yes, on the day of the crime scene, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Fold into place now. Order! Order! So now, what did this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather a man who stole his ID card. Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Edgeworth's been nice to us, I'm scared. Bravo. Allow me to summarise the defence's argument. At 5:15 PM on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There were two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is, well, I guess that's right. There's something wrong, Mr. Wright. It's just you're helping my case, Edgeworth. What the F? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. You hiding up your sleeve. Well, well, it seems you've finally realised exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. Defence has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is fake, which means the murder did not take place. At the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. Okay, so the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. He's saying that because we've proven that this didn't happen, we've somehow proven that Lana Skye is guilty. But that's still an entirely different argument. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. We haven't proved her guilt, we've just proved that there's no crime that took place elsewhere. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment of the defendant used the murder weapon. Yeah, all we've proved is there was no crime elsewhere, not that the other one is definitely guilty. That's dumb. That's reaching, even for Edgeworth. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. Was all this a trap from the beginning? The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honour. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? And obviously we have to object. But with what? Let's just check first. Sometimes you just have to let it roll and move on to the next witness. I don't know if we can object with any evidence, so we're just going to have to spitball it, I guess. One moment, Your Honour. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. There was no murder here. The security video did not show the actual murder. That is all. But why would they want to fake a murder? This is not even an attempt to fake a murder. This is obviously them trying to find something. However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Okay. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor, the prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. Good. Prepare to be destroyed. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would like to have testify, what is his or her name? Walker, Texas Ranger. Oh, Marshall, sorry. They shoot you for that in Texas. Not complying? They shoot you for that in Texas. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I fear we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Unfortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during that time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. So what we need to do now is have him explain why his fingerprints were on a locker that wasn't open during that assault that was afterwards. We need to prove that he was the fake guy. And then we shoot him in Texas. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out. I haven't figured everything out. Yeah, me neither. There's still some unanswered questions like, why are all these other weird things happening? Why did they dump the body in Edgeworth's trunk? I mean, obviously, he was killed elsewhere. I believe he was killed at the station and then dumped in Edgeworth's trunk. And they didn't discover the body until they got back. That's still the theory I'm going with. But why hide the knife in her scarf and stuff it in the exhaust pipe? Did Lana do that? Because if that was there before, it wouldn't have been able to drive the car back without it being blasted out, right? That was put there afterwards. So what is going on there? Where's Alchemist when we need him? I know, right? Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma? You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, perfect. Here he comes. Guess I am. I'll come back later. Yeah, bugger off, Gumshoe. We're having a family moment here. No, wait, actually, Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And on top of it, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey! Hey, 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 hey! 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 I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay, so... have you brought what I asked? Oh, you mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstance, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. What? What did you get me to agree to? Yeah, Gumshoe's awesome. I like this guy. Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I need them by noon. Talk about crazy, right? Wait, she must have set this up before the trial today. She's thinking way ahead of time here, isn't she? She's already like, I know what he's going to figure out today, I'll get him ready. The SL9 incident. Yeah, we don't know what this was. What was the case? This was Edgeworth's first big case as the public prosecutor. And Lana Skye mentored him through the case, And Goodman was the lead detective, along with Marshall and the lady who sells bento boxes and somebody else. Who was it? Names? No, actually, I think it was just these three guys, wasn't it? I can't remember. I think it was just these three. Yeah, he handled the SL9, and he was a rookie at the time. These two were senior detectives. They handled the SL9 incident as well, and they got a guilty verdict, but they didn't like how, supposedly. So I think it's all trying to bring out the truth about this whole thing. Gant had something to do with it, I believe. Oh yeah, definitely. He's rotten. Something's wrong about him. But he's been trying to help us a little. He actually brought... Well, actually, maybe not. He's hindering us in a way. He brought attention to the case about the fact that Goodman may have been murdered at the police station and at the prosecutor's office at the same time. Maybe he's trying to expose this, and he doesn't want to outright point fingers at his own people. He wants us to figure it out so that he can stay clean. Yeah. Is his sidekick the same girl as last week? Did she ever become a spirit guide? She's gone back to go training, yeah. So now we've got this girl. She's the sister of the chief prosecutor, and she's a scientific investigator. Criminal forensic stuff, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Gant wasn't chief back then. I don't think it was ever confirmed. We were told that the deputy chief was helping them, and we assume it was Gant. Maybe these files will teach us more. I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you. The chief prosecutor were a witness in that case. Oh, she was a witness. The Joe Dark killings. Yeah, this was supposed to be a serial killing. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with the serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you the stuff, you're just going to ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name here? What? My name's on there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No, Lana. That's over with. No! What the hell is going on now? Emma, wait! She ran away. Hey, you know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Oh, everything just got too awkward for him. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, and Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to go back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file first. Damn. What is going on? So Gant's name appeared. He was involved. Somehow. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Ms. Lana Skye. Hang on, let me have a look at these then. Just a minute, Your Honor, I need to read things. So they consider the case closed. The perpetrator was a guy called Joe Dark. Serial murders, they gave him the death sentence. The victims were Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Marshall? What? I wonder if he's related. So Miles Edgeworth was the head prosecutor, and Lana Skye and Emma Skye were witnesses. He got shot in Texas. Exactly. Oh, look who won the BR. Nice. She's lurking. Yep, rip. You gave it your best, Luigi. Executive investigators Damon Gant and Lana Skye. So they were also the investigators and witnesses. How does that work? If you're a witness in a case, you don't get to investigate it. They recuse you from it, but anyway, whatever. And the head investigators were Bruce Goodman, he was the guy in charge, and Jake Marshall and Angel Starr were backing him up. It doesn't say much of anything else, but interesting. Neil Marshall as a victim. And Emma Skye was actually a witness as well, so they must have witnessed something. We'll see how this works later. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Ms. Lana Skye. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand, the officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Which we've already proven has bugger all to do with anything, but... Witness, please state your name for the record. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. You wouldn't think it to look at him. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind call it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Yes. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Yeah. Please share with us your testimony on the day of the crime. In plain oldie English. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. I remember right. I was at the street side salon when it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Okay, that was brief. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wow. Way to disrespect a man's beard. Wait a minute. What do you mean, 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you know about those. You stopped here? Well, now you can begin. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated lockers of the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickey is those? He's not very helpful. Not that good with the machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weakness now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? Interestingly, then, he doesn't know anything about fingerprint readers. Maybe he just didn't know that that locker wouldn't be able to be opened, and he just went and looked out. We know he was definitely in there because his prints were on the door, in bloody handprints. This one seems like trouble. Oh, okay, Mr. Wright. All yours. My job is to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. Okay, so by bone orchard, how do you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who ignored the recordings. You interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, the tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but that's not going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? So how did your print get in there? They say I was supposed to make the rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word said? I said, partner, I told you, it ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know that lets rules get in his way. No desperados join the police force. So Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. Bullshit. There was a rubber glove stuck in one of the victim's lockers. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Besides, the room protected by 2 security systems. Let's go again. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet you don't know anything about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. I guess he just thought, every time I pull this thing it opens, right? Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at the Streetside Saloon the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vignol Sepia pasta. Okay? Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner, but they should. That's not what I meant. I hope it has at least taught you a lesson. But that's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, did you not want a raise this year? Okay. Shy, hello, good morning, sweetheart. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me on this crime, you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time, and mine. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back to the west of the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, we have a trump card up our sleeve, we best use it. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. So... which one do we object to then? Probably the one where he said he was there when it went down. With the fingerprint. I mean, I know we need to use the fingerprint to say he was definitely there, because he's just pretty much told us, I don't go in that thing, or he hasn't been there in weeks. But this is the one where he declared that he'd never been there, or he hadn't set foot in the room all day. So it's a case of knowing which one of these we have to object to. Because even though him saying he was there at the time it went down